Janet, do you want to play or yay or nay? Okay. Yeah, just lay out when you feel like it, but I'll lay out the intro. Which means, can you start us? Because I don't play.
Yeah.
You know this song.
Tangled up. So we need the two.
Oh, right. Oh, tune to you.
Yeah.
So, do you want to not do repeats? Let's have that. Let's have that be our default to not do repeats if we forget to talk about it.
Sounds good.
So, and let's not do repeats in this one. Either one. Okay, so these shiftmen are really awesome, but I hope we don't fall apart. So, I think my voice isn't mic'd too. But otherwise, how are we ever going to play this awesome stuff? So, and I broke it up into 3 parts, as you can see. So someone else starts.
I do.
Okay.
It's good king when it's sounds.
Perfect.
I start too.
Okay, let me start together. 2, 3.
There is a DC. We always need to look at that. It's relatively short to the coda, so we will do the DC. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2. yeah, we're only playing up till bar 67.
Very good.
Artwork.
Yeah.
So you got nice portfolio.
Very pretty.
Arrangements of Baroque music portfolio. We can go slightly under tempo, unless it's better to go up to tempo because of. What was that?
You're coming through the mic.
Okay. How about that?
I like it.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. waltz might be good. 205.
Fair enough. So, just note for the future, this first page is oboe, and then it jumps to the wrong measure in the clarinet part.
Oh, nice.
first
So,
I
I
was
wonder if the oboe had the
transposing.
clarinet part. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Let's fold over that page or something.
Yeah. Got it. Thanks.
That was the mistake of my assistant.
It's always the assistant. What's the number on the
So,
waltz? 205.
205. And there's a missing bar in this, and I fixed it. And it's,
Also, you're still on mic.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
See it?
Okay. And someone else starts now. I can't remember who. Yeah, why don't you take starts. 1, 2, 3. Dun, 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 Okay. Maybe I'm going to flag that because it sounds like there's some weird note in your part.
Might be.
Slightly weird. Okay, stand up. So maybe we should skip to the Donzi 102C because it's easy and we can cut it off when they cut us off.
102C when they cut us off. Or, well, yeah.
Yeah. What's the time right now? Okay. Close. Got it. We have a piece that's pretty short or we can stop. So.
No repeats?
Good question. Maybe we should on this one so we don't have to end too early. Is that all right?
Sure. So yes repeats plus a DC with no repeats?
Yes, standard roadmap. Okay. So I think you start us off. Yeah. take the repeats. Oh, that's okay. Let's just start at the trio and do take repeats from here on.
Yes.
Excellent.
Start a trio, yes, repeats.
Who plays?
I do.
Great. So here's something we've never done. 20 Christmas carols. Let's try it.
I think we're up. 10 o'clock.
Did he wave at it? But he's going to wave at us when it's actually, when they're ready. 406. So we can stop. You should play my part. It has a rest in it. I have the melody. You can probably just lay out. I'll play melody if it's missing. No? They just give more to the oboe than the flute. Okay. Let's not do any repeats. Anyway. So one. Angels. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's not waving at us yet. So the next one, no
Deck the
repeats?
halls.
Okay. Deck the halls, no repeats. Sorry. Should we fill in? Play. He said stop or play.
He said fill in.
Okay.
Play.
1, 2, 3, 4.
get the graduates to just squeeze a little bit, I can see that we're not using all the seats there. So just make sure you're standing in front of one seat, and that'll clear up some space for the people behind you. Thank you.
But you're also now out of alphabetical order. Yeah, if you could just scoot down a little bit. They worked hard for this. We're making sure everybody has a seat. All right. Please rise. The commencement ceremony of the Seattle University School of Law is now convened. As we begin our gathering today, we respectfully acknowledge that our event today is taking place on the homelands of the Coast Salish people, who continue to steward these lands and waters as they have since time immemorial. We recognize the tribal nations and organizations who actively create, shape, and contribute to our thriving community at Seattle University and beyond. We, as an academic community, should be and are committed to doing our part to engage with and amplify the voices of Native peoples and tribes. We recognize our collective responsibilities and call for further learning and action to support them in their pursuit of advancement through education. Thank you, and please remain standing for the invocation offered by Father Lucas Sharma of the Jesuit West Province of the Society of Jesus, Jesuit advisor to the Dean of the Law School and trustee of Seattle University.
Together, let us pray. Loving God, on this crisp December morning, we ask for your blessing upon each one of us gathered together to celebrate Seattle University's School of Law commencement. Bless us in our vocations to embody your law, a law of peace, of justice, of inclusion, of love. As the nights grow dark, we recall so many across our city, our state, our country, and our globe, seeking freedom from fear and liberty to love. We ask that we might always be stewards of the law to break down divisions of fear, invite strangers in, and expand our families and our communities to cultivate a greater spirit of belonging. We ask that you bless our faculty, our staff, and our administration who guide the law school, directed by the thirst for justice and the hunger for community. We thank you for the ways they educate and form our students and serve as scholars committed to inclusion. We thank and ask your blessing on our graduates and our students this day, that they remember all they have learned and all they have called to be and become, champions of the marginalized, guardians of the earth, and bringers of light to all. Be with us all, so that all of us create homes of welcome, belonging, and we ask all these things in your name, as together we say, Amen.
Please take your seats. morning. Oh, come on. Good morning. All right, that's more like it. My name is Eduardo Peñalver. I'm the president of Seattle University, and in that capacity as the president, but maybe more relevantly as a member of the law school faculty and a fellow lawyer, let me begin by offering my heartfelt congratulations to our graduating students. Completing law school is no small feat. Well done. The degree that many of you are receiving today, the Juris Doctor, is usually translated as Doctor of Law. Interestingly, it would more accurately be translated from the Latin as Doctor of Justice, and I sort of prefer the sound of that. My younger brother is a medical doctor. During his residency in New York City, he would sometimes ride the subway to work wearing a t-shirt that said, "Kiss me, I'm a doctor." I know. At the time, I wondered what would happen if I wore a t-shirt on the subway that said, "Kiss me, I'm a lawyer." Nothing good, I imagine. But what if, just what if, the t-shirt said, "Kiss me, I'm a doctor of justice"? Now we're talking. As doctors of justice, and for some of you masters of justice, we occupy a place of profound privilege and responsibility in our society and our system of laws. As a young undergraduate, Zachary Carter participated in the 1969 takeover of the Cornell Student Union building by members of the Afro-American Society. And then after graduating from Cornell, he went on to NYU Law School and to an illustrious legal career in New York City. He became the United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York and under President Clinton, and the head lawyer for the city of New York under Mayor Bill de Blasio. And it was at that time, during his term as the Corporation Counsel for the city of New York, that I heard him give a talk, and he spoke very passionately about the great satisfaction he had been able to feel during his career when he could, what he said, as he said it, squeeze justice out of the law. And he talked about that experience of squeezing justice out of the law like it was squeezing juice out of a dry lemon, one that had sat in the refrigerator maybe a bit too long. It was hard work, but very rewarding and satisfying work. And that process of squeezing justice out of the law is not a simple one. The law does not always want to grant us justice. And certainly in practice, you'll encounter clients, adversaries, opposing counsel, who work hard to try to prevent it from doing so. And this is not an indictment of the concept of law or legality. The law is not the same as justice, but the law is an essential technology for achieving justice at scale. There can be justice in smaller communities without resort to the formalities of law. At the levels of the family or maybe the small village, those who care about justice can coordinate their behavior at minimal cost. And for those who don't care, exhortation, gossip, shunning, and other informal mechanisms can work to enforce the demands of justice. But in a society of our scale and complexity, law becomes essential, both to coordinate among the cooperative and to deter the uncooperative. The power of law to bind and constrain, however imperfectly, is of particular importance to those seeking to expand the reach of justice, especially those on the margins. This is the reason every successful social movement of the past 100 years has sought to enshrine their victories in law. If the rule of law is jettisoned, those victories are imperiled. So to borrow from Winston Churchill's quip about democracy, law is the most imperfect means for advancing justice, except for all the alternatives. The connection between the rule of law and the work of lawyers explains Shakespeare's line in Henry VI, "The first thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers." And this is often read as a kind of lawyer joke, the Elizabethan version of the bus full of lawyers at the bottom of the ocean. But Shakespeare's purpose was not to make fun of lawyers. As the late Justice John Paul Stevens noted in his dissenting opinion in Walters versus National Association of Radiation Survivors, the implication of Shakespeare's famous words is that disposing of lawyers is a first step in the direction of a totalitarian form of government. And so it's no accident that the federal judge hearing Perkins Coie's case against President Trump's executive order seeking to punish that firm turned to Shakespeare's famous line to describe what was at stake in the case. And I encourage you to read her entire opinion, but here's just a taste of what Judge Beryl Howell had to say. Eliminating lawyers as the guardians of the rule of law removes a major impediment to the path to more power. The importance of independent lawyers to ensuring the American judicial system's fair and impartial administration of justice has been recognized in this country since its founding era. Congress may legislate, the president may implement, and courts may adjudicate. But only lawyers can prepare and submit the great issues of human justice under law in such manner and form that courts, in the ultimate, may be effective. Absent their crucial independence, lawyers would become nothing more than parrots of the views of whatever group wields government power at the moment. For anyone familiar with the rhetorical minimalism of the judicial craft, this is strong stuff. Once we move beyond that scale of the family or the village, no contract, no property right, no civil right is worth the paper it's printed on without the rule of law to enforce it, and therefore without the work of lawyers. And that's why access to legal services is such an important issue for those of us who care about justice. As our newest doctors and masters of justice, we're counting on you to take up the fight on behalf of the rule of law, even while keeping your eyes on the ultimate and elusive prize of justice. Your time at Seattle University and your hard work have given you the tools you need. And so once again, congratulations and good luck.
Congratulations, graduates, and welcome to Winter Commencement 2025. Today is a day to celebrate, to be thankful, and to look toward the future. Speaking about gratitude, you are very fortunate, graduates, to get to have your commencement serve as the final commencement at Seattle University for our beloved president, President Eduardo Peñalver, before he in March leaves us to be president of our sister Jesuit university, Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. President Peñalver, I know that I speak for all of us at Seattle University School of Law and Seattle University as I thank you for your transformational, visionary, and historic presidency here at Seattle University. We all wish you Godspeed and all the best as you embark on your new presidency. Thank you, Eduardo. Now, graduates, many of you are here thanks to the support that you have received from your loved ones, many of whom are here today or watching on the web stream. So let us give your loved ones a rousing round of applause to show them your gratitude. As you depart our law school and deploy your new JD or MLS or LM degree, I give you a few words of advice to take with you. First, I urge you to distinguish yourselves as lawyers who, in your zealous advocacy on behalf of clients and causes, exercise the professional kindness and collegiality that the profession merits, and that in any event make us better and more effective lawyers. Address and relate to judges and other decision makers with respect and grace. Collaborate with opposing counsel and other professional colleagues with civility, especially at times of greatest stress and conflict. If you are lucky, your careers in law will be long, and the judge before whom you present a case today, or the opposing counsel against whom you negotiate tomorrow, may in short order become your law firm or agency partner, or even if you're lucky, a good personal friend. Next, no matter how you practice, be sure to practice for the public good. As Amazon General Counsel David Zapolsky told us during his Luminaries in Law interview not long ago, pro bono and public service work for lawyers, quote, is not optional, unquote. It is, he said, quote, part of being a lawyer and a quid pro quo of being a member of the bar, unquote. And he is right. We have the obligation to give back to society by exercising our talents as lawyers pro bono publico, for the public good. As you climb the ladder of success, pull others up with you. Treat the janitor who cleans your office and the administrative assistant who manages your professional life and the mailroom attendant who directs your mail with the same respect and dignity that you show the justices of the Supreme Court. They are, after all, the same in their humanity and in their entitlement to dignity. They also are instrumental in our own success and that of our clients, so please recognize them in your gratitude. Being a Seattle University School of Law educated attorney or legal professional is a superpower. Use it for good. Use it to lift others up. You also should reach out. Continue to expose yourselves to people different from you and to opinions different from your own. A dear learned friend put it this way: understanding requires contrast. Seek contrast. Embrace difference and disagreement. Contemplate diversity, not just of background, but also of thought. Appreciate what makes your own perspective and experience unique. As my son Benjamin put it to me last night, as advice that he asked that I pass along to you, quote, be like Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer and realize that what makes you unique might end up saving the day, unquote. Keep in mind the classical 1,000-year-old Chinese expression that the ocean is vast and powerful because it welcomes all rivers. The ocean is vast and powerful because it welcomes all rivers. How is that for ancient DEI? I urge you to live from a place of gratitude, and you will become a better lawyer and a better and happier person. You are high-achieving people, everybody. I know that you graduated kindergarten summa cum laude and then went off to the next thing and the next thing and the thing after that. But pause, please, and give thanks for the enormous privileges that you now have as lawyers in an extraordinary profession at an auspicious moment in our history and in a country brimming with freedom and opportunity. Abide in gratitude, but also be courageous. The late Robert F. Kennedy once said, "Courage is the most important attribute of a lawyer. It is more important than competence or vision. It should pervade the heart in the halls of justice and the chambers of the mind," unquote. Indeed, as lawyers and other legal professionals, you will see time and again that law is not the same as justice and that justice is not the same as fairness. You will experience again and again what Jeremy Bentham observed in saying that the power of the lawyer is in the uncertainty of the law. Sometimes you will be asked to speak truth to power in circumstances that may appear to you to be impossible, unwinnable, hopeless. But the truth is that every quantum leap forward in law started with an impossible dream. Universal suffrage for women, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, marriage equality for gay people, basic equity for the differently abled. These and so many other advances took vision, took daring, took courage among lawyers, other legal professionals, and lawmakers, and resulted in unfathomable progress. The importance of our role as lawyers in our republic is especially clear at times when the rule of law, our Constitution, and democracy itself are tested by the excesses of an overreaching branch of federal government. If you have not done so, I, like President Peñalver just did, urge you, as your final post-commencement law school assignment, to read Federal Judge Beryl Howell's May 2025 memorandum opinion supporting her order striking down as unconstitutional the President's executive order attacking Seattle Zone and institutional friend to Seattle U Law, law firm Perkins Coie. I want you to read Judge Howell's tour de force memorandum opinion because in its 102 pages, she will remind you of how the profession you are commencing today is the thin black line between our Constitution and authoritarianism. She makes clear that the legal profession safeguards the survival of our democracy itself. She writes, quote, "This value placed on the role of lawyers caught the attention of Alexis de Tocqueville, who, when reflecting on his travels through the early United States, insightfully remarked that, quote, the authority entrusted to members of the legal profession is the most powerful existing security against the excesses of democracy," unquote. This, dear graduates, is the profession that you enter, that you are commencing today. So understand, please, how much our nation is depending on you and upon your character. Here at Seattle University School of Law, a Jesuit Catholic law school, we taught you about the importance of character in law and about the importance of aligning the ideas you pursue to the ideals that most merit pursuing. It is imperative for lawyers to do the right thing when no one is watching. And I say no one else is watching to emphasize that when we are alone, it is our conscience that watches over us and to which we remain accountable in our quietest moments. Integrity not only is demanded of us as good lawyers and legal professionals, but also as good people. Next, a word about compassion. Abraham Lincoln once said, quote, "As a peacemaker, the lawyer has superior opportunity of being a good person," unquote. Yes, we must be zealous advocates, but sometimes the best way forward for our clients and causes and for the truth itself is to make peace, to exercise compassion, to exercise equanimity. It is important, too, to realize that this compassion should flow outward, but also inward. We train you in law to be especially scrutinous in your analysis, to leave no stone unturned, to marshal the facts and leverage the law in as incisive and zealous a manner possible. But sometimes that laser beam honed scrutiny that we have cultivated in you can turn inward. And when it does, hold yourself in compassion. Be kind to yourself. Be your own best friend. Finally, everyone, enjoy the moments of success, embrace the small and the big victories, fail quickly, and then move on to more success. Recognize how fortunate each of you is to have reached this pinnacle of success. In Leaves of Grass, Walt Whitman writes, quote, "You must habit yourself to the dazzle of the light and of every moment of your life," unquote. So, dazzle in your light, graduates. Please stay in touch with us. We are so very proud of you as our newest leaders serving justice. Thank you. Now, within each graduating class, there are countless students whose futures gleam brightly with the reflection of time well spent in our midst. We are proud to recognize a number of individuals in particular whose contributions have greatly enriched the life of our law school and our broader community. Will all of our pro bono pledge awardees please stand? In alignment with our Jesuit values of justice and leadership, Seattle University law students are encouraged to build their legal and leadership skills in service to the community. By pledging and completing a minimum of 100 hours of legal pro bono work and community volunteer work together, the students standing before you represent more than 6,500 hours of service completed since they began law school. You may be seated, but please remain standing if you are a pro bono pledge outstanding service awardee. Among our pledge awardees, we are pleased to acknowledge these graduates who completed an even more impressive feat. Each outstanding service awardee completed at least 250 hours of legal pro bono or community volunteer service during their time in the School of Law. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you. You may be seated. The Master of Legal Studies degree prepares students to frame issues and solve problems through the lens of the law. In alignment with our broad mission of empowering leaders for a just and humane world, we believe that compliance benefits society when practiced ethically. While all students add value to our program and community, today we recognize a singular MLS graduate who most exemplifies our motto, compliance with a conscience. Although she is unable to join us today, I am delighted to recognize our 2025 Compliance with a Conscience medalist, Jill McClure. Congratulations. Congratulations to all of our student honorees of the class of 2025.
Thank you, Dean Verona. Each year, the graduating class selects one of their own to serve as the class speaker. It's my great pleasure to invite Laura Edmonston to address the graduating class of 2025.
Good morning, distinguished faculty, guests, family and friends, both here and joining us online, and my fellow graduates, in particular my colleagues in the Flex JD program. May it please the court. My name is Laura Edmonston, and it is my tremendous honor to represent the Seattle University School of Law class of 2025 in this momentous matter of commencement. As someone who has spent the last 3 decades dreaming about attending law school, I can say with utmost sincerity that standing here before you today on the cusp of receiving my JD is truly one of the most surreal and wonderful moments of my life. 3.5 years ago, we walked into Sullivan Hall or logged into Zoom for the first time to begin our law school journeys. We arrived from many different places and many different points and stages in our lives. We came to this institution to begin our first careers or our 5th careers. We came with big goals and aspirations. We entered as strangers and sometimes rivals. And for the past 3.5 years, we have worked together, we have laughed together, we have cried together to get to this day. And friends, we made it. Today, we have so much to celebrate. Tomorrow, the questions we had as we went through law school, which, if I'm practicing the candor that the legal profession demands of me, often took the form of, what the hell was I thinking? Have now shifted to a singular, crucial question: what is next? We are here today at a critical moment in history, and we've heard a little bit about that on the podium this morning. While every generation feels that its challenges are unprecedented, our news feeds are now constantly inundated with stories of discord, of human rights abuses, of attacks on the truth. Many days it feels as though access to justice seems more out of reach than ever before. But I would argue the words of legendary defense attorney Clarence Darrow, who famously defended a teacher in the Scopes monkey trial, should offer us a bit of hope. As long as the world shall last, there will be wrongs, and if no one objected, those wrongs would last forever. Or, in the words of former Washington State Supreme Court Clerk Aaron Lennon, none of our systems are perfect, None of our systems are entirely just or equitable. All of them need to be changed and improved. And if you're going to work inside the system, it is your obligation to make it better. In short, I believe that what the world needs now, maybe more than ever, is us in the system working to make it better. Improving access to justice, or, quote, equal access to the justice system, unquote, in the United States is certainly not a new idea. The concept of the Access to Justice movement itself can be traced back to the Working Women's Protective Union in 1863, helping workers collect unlawfully withheld wages. In the late 1800s, Clara Foltz introduced what is believed to be the first major case for public defense in America. Organizations such as the Chicago Protective Agency for Women and Children handled thousands of domestic violence and wage theft cases for the poor at the turn of the century. Here in Washington, access to justice work is ongoing, and we can draw a lot of inspiration from it. The state Supreme Court, through its various commissions, has completed groundbreaking research into increasing jury diversity, disability and language access, eliminating workplace harassment, and lowering incarceration rates for marginalized populations. Court rules have been identified as unfair and updated to right that. Work is underway to improve resources and outcomes for unrepresented litigants. Washington courts have begun to implement programs to make the courtroom a less intimidating place, recognizing that court experiences have the potential to inflict generational trauma and exacerbate cycles of violence. With the assistance of our own leadership here at Seattle U, Washington is developing alternative and more equitable pathways to the legal profession. In my own role at the Washington State Law Library, I am working with my team every day to make legal research more accessible to small and solo practice attorneys, the incarcerated, and individuals who cannot afford a lawyer. Some of you have already gotten a head start here, working for various legal clinics, working as Rule 9 interns and paralegals, and lobbying for legislation that improves worker and housing rights. That's a great start, but we still have so far to go, and I hope that you have heard in my words and the words of those who have gone before us a very, very loud call to action. And I submit to you that the skills and the knowledge that you have acquired here at Seattle University, and the empathy, the intelligence, and creativity that I know you possess have prepared you to answer it. So what's next? A tremendous opportunity to take our place in the history and the future of the legal profession and the improvement of access to justice and outcomes of those we will serve, those we will spend our careers walking through the happiest, saddest, and sometimes most significant and consequential moments of their lives. Today, we celebrate our incredible achievement. Tomorrow, I look forward to using my legal degree to do the expert research needed to help you represent your clients. Tomorrow, I look forward to seeing you in the courtroom, both in front of and behind the bench. Tomorrow, the real work begins. Now, before I close my remarks this morning, those of you who have come to know me in our time in law school know that I am a huge college sports fan. And today, I want to leave you with one final sports story. A legendary college baseball coach once asked his players, if you were falling over a cliff and only had a rope to hold on to save your life, who would you want to be holding on to the other end of the rope? The players began to shout out names of famous baseball players, of course, Babe Ruth, Randy Johnson, Jackie Robinson. The coach replied, "That isn't the answer I was looking for. When you're struggling, the person you want holding the rope is your teammate." Over the past 3.5 years, working full-time while going to law school and struggling with sometimes debilitating anxiety, insecurity, and imposter syndrome meant that I often felt like I was falling off of a cliff. But I didn't, because all of the members of my team who were holding the rope for me, my parents, my aunts and uncles, and cousins, my friends, my boss and my colleagues at the State Law Library and the Supreme Court, including all of the justices, the faculty of the law school, everyone who offered a prayer or an encouraging word, and most especially my fellow Flex JD students that I am proud to consider as lifelong friends. I am here today because you all held the rope for me, and I hope that I can do that for you in the future, and I hope that I did do that in law school. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you, and congratulations to the Seattle University class of 225. Each year, members of the graduating class nominate and select the outstanding faculty honoree, who serves as the Marshal at Arms for the commencement ceremony. As your chosen class representative, I am honored to present the Class of 2025's award for Outstanding Faculty Honoree to Associate Teaching Professor Paula Enguidanos.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my honor to introduce our distinguished commencement keynote speaker. Pallavi Mehta Wahi is a distinguished member of Arnold & Porter's litigation group and serves as chair of Western U.S. Strategic Growth for the law firm, leading the firm's newly established Seattle office. A Chambers-ranked litigator, she represents global clients in complex commercial litigation, corporate, healthcare, and intellectual property matters, arguing high-stakes cases nationwide. Beyond her legal practice, Pallavi is a dedicated civic and community advocate. She currently serves as deputy chair of the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco and serves on boards including the Seattle University Round Glass India Center Board, the University of Washington Global Business Law Institute, and the Greater Seattle Chamber of Commerce. A graduate of the University of Delhi and the University of Cambridge, she chairs Cambridge in America's Seattle Advisory Committee and has held leadership roles with nonprofits such as the Woodland Park Zoo, Seattle Rep Theater, the South Asian Bar Foundation, and the King County Bar Foundation. Pallavi has been recognized among the top 100 most influential lawyers in the United States by Best Lawyers magazine, named one of Seattle Magazine's most influential people, and honored in the Puget Sound Business Journal's Power 100 list of the top business leaders in Washington State. Pallavi also has become a dear mentor and guide to many of our students and a dear and valued friend of our law school. It is my honor to introduce you to Pallavi Mehta Wahi.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me here, President and faculty and all of the people here. But most of all, good morning, graduates. Good morning to all of you. Good morning to your families, and welcome to your commencement. What a huge moment. I can't imagine what you're all feeling. I can't imagine what your families are feeling. But I do know one thing. You all did it. It's huge. Congratulate yourself. Take a big round of applause for yourself. So today I have the honor of being your commencement speaker. My job, I've been told, is to inspire you, motivate you, and make you invincible. I am here to make sure that you go into the world and you are completely successful the day you get there. So I thought long and hard about it. I thought about what is it that I should speak about as a commencement speaker? What would be inspiring? Something that would make you unbelievably motivated, something that would make you feel amazing. And what I'm going to talk to you about is fear. And I'm going to talk to you about fear because in every speech we've heard so far, we've heard about the words courage, we've heard about the word fear, we've heard about the imposter syndrome. And I want to acknowledge fear as both something that we all live with, but also something that makes us better. I want to acknowledge it with how it can inspire greatness, how it can inspire faith, and it can take you to bigger and better places. I'm going to talk about my own story, my own feelings of fear, my own times when my heart beats in my chest. You know how you can feel your heart, you can feel your breath, and you think you're going to have a heart attack and you're not, right? The times you feel that palpable sense, you can taste it. And that fear that you feel of saying the wrong thing, of wearing the wrong thing. I remember being you at the University of Cambridge getting dressed for this ceremony and being told to wear formal clothes, and I didn't know what formal clothes meant. So I was the only one in the photo not wearing stockings. So you have a row of people, and with me, with not looking the same. Fear wasn't bad for me. It wasn't a sign of failure, but it was a way to rise to the occasion. But it took me some time to understand that. So starting on that journey, just let me talk about a personal truth. From the outside, if you hear what Dean Verona had to say and you read what's in the book, I'm amazing, right? I look amazing, I sound amazing. My life's a series of confident steps. I'm just incredible. I go from leadership to leadership to leadership. Nothing stops me. That's true, but not, right? So every consequential decision I've ever made has come with fear. Every time when I first left to go to law school from India, I was scared. Who was I to belong in that room? Who was I to be one of the few who was sitting in Cambridge University? I was scared about not understanding what they meant. I was the person who went and kept calling every professor sir. That's how I grew up in India. Everyone was a sir. One of the professors took me aside and said, the sirs are the ones who are knighted. The ones who are not, you should not be calling sir. You know, I didn't know that, right? I was very scared of being in leadership. I was scared of being there before I was ready. I was asked to be the managing partner. So before I started the Arnold and Porter office, I was at another firm for 20 years. I was the managing partner there. I was the US managing partner. I held every role possible. And I was asked to be the managing partner of that firm when I was home with my baby of 3 months. He's here today. He's 11 years now, but he was 3 months old then. He was a very, very lovely baby, but it also made me very worried that how could I be in leadership and have a baby? I didn't know if it was something I could do. I'd never done it before. I didn't want to do it, but I did it. And I had to fight it. I had to understand that sometimes I'll not be really great at it. Sometimes I'll be incredible at it. You will feel the same. You will feel every voice in you telling you how you can't do something. You can do a lot. And the people whose voices you need to listen to are not just the ones that tell you not to, but the ones in this room who are going to tell you you can do it. You're going to feel scared about decisions. You're going to feel scared about making a decision. Someone once told me you can make a good decision, which is great, which is the only ones I make, of course. You can make a bad decision, which you can correct. But the worst thing you can do is not make a decision. That's debilitating. That is something as a lawyer that will make you stand in a place that you will not be able to grow from. Then there's a fear of not belonging, fear of not understanding. Many of us come from different backgrounds. We have different faiths, different cities, different social arenas. We think differently, different political backgrounds. I feel it very acutely. I'm a first-generation immigrant. I don't know, I didn't understand when I came here why everyone said sure. I said, you should say yes or no. What does sure mean, right? And now I say sure. I didn't understand why they used to say a chai latte, a chai tea. It's either a chai or a tea. Why is it both together, right? I didn't understand why coffee orders were so complicated. And now I have a double tall, non-fat latte with 2 Splenda in a shot. I know early in my career, my accent was made fun of. It destroyed me. It made me feel so different. It didn't feel bad because my accent wasn't true. It was true. But it exposed me to feeling different. Until that day, I wanted to be the same. I wanted to be the same person who could understand what sports are. I do not. I don't know the team names. I don't know what they are. I don't understand anything, and my husband and my son make fun of me about that all the time. But I also realized that moment of devastation that I had to learn to be different. I had to learn it was okay to have an accent. It was okay to say I'd never read the book Gangaram. Has anyone seen that book? It's this thick. Every time I meet someone, they ask me if I've read it. No, I have not read it. And I also realized it was okay that I would dance on a Bollywood song at a recent fundraiser, which I did for homelessness, where we raised a lot of money for homelessness in Seattle. So how did that happen for me? As a 24-year-old in this city, when I moved here 25 years ago, I didn't know anybody. I had to find my own community. I started at a domestic violence board organization. Start small. Go to where you've heard the word service a lot. Seattle University has not educated you to retreat from differences. It's educated you to engage with it. Be curious, lead, show up, and be comfortable with being different. Now I'm going to take the word nobody's taken to my astonishment. And it's a word that I'm not sure you've ever heard of. It's called artificial intelligence. So let's talk about that fear. It's a real fear. I know it looms large for all of you, artificial intelligence. We are going to work in a field which is going to be reshaped by it. It is getting reshaped by it. You're going to feel anxious. Many of you have been told your jobs will be redundant. That is not true. It is a reframing of how we do our jobs. I believe that we are going to be living through the next industrial revolution. We are going to be at the forefront of reframing what we do how we do it better, faster, and bigger. I believe AI will change the way we work, but not as an efficiency and outsourcing tool, but as a make better tool. I do not view there's going to be wins in areas, there's going to be losses in areas, but it's like someone said to me the other day, when the iPhone came, we all became photographers. But the data shows that photography itself became a bigger profession as a result of it. So embrace it, not just learn it, embrace it. So if I was you, I would ask me, did you write this speech with AI? Answer is no, I didn't. But I had AI analyze for me the last 10 years of commencement speeches and tell me the ones that were the most impactful for students. And I did it. My AI is a woman. Her name is Kiara. She and I negotiated her name. She gives me tips. She's got 3 personalities. One is strategic, one is confident, one is my glam squad. So she gives me tip on what to wear. I say all this in jest, but I also say this in reality. Make it part of your life. It is part of your life. If you're not sitting with it every day, understanding it, don't be embarrassed about saying you use it. You must be using it. No one spoke of fear when the internet arrived or when the phone became the iPhone. The future is here. Let it not be unknown to you. Understand it. I know, you don't have to name your iPhone, your AI Kiara. She was very insistent on what her name should be, by the way. But you should have a personality that supports you. Then last, the fear of the future. The future we're looking at is scary. It's not predictable. The world we live in is different. But I grew up in India. It was a different world there every day. I got educated in England. I live here. I have to remind myself every day we live in a global world. We hear everything every day. If you asked me 25 years ago, I would be your commencement speaker, I would say, ha, 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 right? And I would have been as shocked, as scared as you feel here today. I remember being in these halls 25 years ago, looking at all the law schools in Seattle when I first moved here. I came to Seattle University, I looked around and I said, oh my God, what an amazing place. That's who you are. The future is as scary or as brilliant as it wants you to be. But the future is not predictable. It doesn't come with guarantees. So your opportunity in time is to live in that moment. I opened the office of Arnold & Porter after 20 years of being at another firm. I opened it because of its values. I opened it because of the future. Commit to yourself, the values of yourself, whatever they may be. Your values can differ. Center yourself. And fear is a motivator. Fear can propel you. Fear can make you better. If you feel fear, that means you're growing. If you feel fear, that means you're not comfortable. And when you have to figure out grace, give yourself the grace to be afraid for yourself. It's okay. It's okay to feel scared. It's okay to have it clarify your values. It's okay to make you not pray for fear to disappear, for you to have the courage to act faithfully within it. So your responsibility, I'm going to ask from you. Don't be scared, but don't be just there to succeed. Be there to be part of the community. Be there to lead, to belong, to care, and to be kind. Bring empathy, bring kindness. But more than anything, be kind to yourself. You will fail. There will be moments. I've had moments of terror. We are not brain surgeons. We cannot kill anybody. The worst that you will do is miss a deadline sometimes. We have malpractice insurance. There are things. If you're not a little afraid, question yourself as to why you're not. That means you're stagnating. So class of 2025, here's what I'm going to leave you with. If everything I said sounds intimidating or scary, do not worry. It isn't going to be. You will 100% forget the rule against perpetuities. 100%. But what your Seattle University, your faculty, every one of your classmates has taught you to do is they've trained you. They've taught you take a breath, step forward, choose purpose over fear every time. So congratulations, class of 2025. Go forth, show us how it can be done.
That was incredible. What powerful, powerful wisdom. Thank you so much, Pallavi. Okay, everybody, the moment has come. Let's get down to business. It is now time for the presentation of the candidates. President Peñalver, it is with great pleasure that I present to you the Seattle University School of Law 2025 candidates for the Master of Laws, Master of Legal Studies, and Juris Doctor degrees. Will the candidates for the Master of Laws degree please stand? President Peñalver, these students presented and listed on the printed program have completed the requirements to receive the Master of Laws degree. You may be seated. Will the candidates for the Master of Legal Studies degree please stand? President Peñalver, these students presented and listed on the printed program have completed the requirements to receive the Master of Legal Studies degree. You may be seated. Will the candidates for the Juris Doctor degree please stand? President Peñalver, these students presented and listed on the printed program have completed the requirements to receive the Juris Doctor degree. You may be seated.
By virtue of the authority granted by the Charter of Seattle University and vested in me by the Board of Trustees and acting upon the recommendation of the Dean and faculty of the School of Law, I hereby confer upon the graduates of the class of 2025 who have successfully completed the program requirements for the degrees of Master of Laws, Master of Legal Studies, or Juris Doctor, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereunto. And since you're all lawyers, you know that means yes. Congratulations.
Those were the magic words, everybody. Associate Deans Kristen DiBiase and Erin Fulner will introduce the candidates individually. As each student's name is read, they will come forward to be hooded by our Marshal at Arms, Professor Paula Eguindanos, and Adjunct Professor of Law Adrian Levitt, the elected faculty hooder for the class of 2025. Usually at events such as this, you are asked to hold your applause until the end. However, we're Seattle University School of Law, so in recognition of the considerable sacrifice of family and friends of law students, please feel free to express your pleasure as the name of your graduate is read. Deans DiBiase and Fulner, please present the candidates.
Thank you, Dean Verona. If we could have any folks who are in an aisle or who have items in an aisle, including behind the audience, we will be using those spaces, so we want to not trip anyone. Thank you. Receiving the Master of Laws degree, Marwa Al-Masri, Master of Laws in American Legal Studies. Elizabeth Hogyi Lam Freestad, Master of Laws in Technology, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. Alex Leshko, Master of Laws in American Legal Studies. Miriam Valentine Roberts, Master of Laws in Technology, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. Nitesh Kumar Sinha, Master of Laws in Technology, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. Chingpeng Wang, Master of Laws in American Legal Studies. Receiving the Master of Legal Studies degree, Vanny Cao. Jisner Carr. Virgie Carranza Mondrajon.
Receiving the Juris Doctor degree, Andrew Apple. Sarah R. Arato. Aaron Lake Aylward. Felicia Colleen Bailey. Jackie Barbian, hooded by cousin Talia Elizabeth Smith, class of 2015. Samantha Barkles. Luis Emmanuel Pios Bella. Anastasia Bengala, cum laude. Elizabeth
Elizabeth Ann Donato. From the stage, Laura Elizabeth Edmonston. Chris Flory, magna cum laude. Sarah Frady. Tyler A. Gutierrez. Kareem Juma. Denis R. Lakomsky. Marina Malugina. Brandon McNeil. Michael Medeiros. Emily Mabel Melling, walking with son Mosiah John Melling, born 4th of July, 2025. Taylor R. Nations, cum laude. Daniel Naiman. Banjugu Nyangwada. Aurora Oseguera, cum laude. Austin K. Olson. Jennifer Peck, cum laude. Ryan Perkins. James Kyle Powder. Stephen Allen Rocky. Felix E. Romero. Brian Rosales. Ryan Rosen, cum laude. Kristen Noel Ruano. Heidi Ruelas. Caitlin Sargent, Certificate in Technology, Innovation Law, and Ethics. Aubrey Stahl, cum laude. Ken Stahl. Rachel Thorsness, cum laude. Catherine Alamang Urea, cum laude. Hector Miguel Valencia. Christina Welch, cum laude. Marissa L. Williams. Hannah Yu. at UA. All right. I hope you're proud of you because we sure are. We are. Congratulations, graduates.
We're so proud of you, everyone. Congratulations. The benediction now will be offered by Father Lucas Sharma. Please stand, everyone. Follow if you're able. Following the benediction, please remain standing for the valediction and recessional.
And so we conclude our commencement in prayer, loving God, source of all truth and goodness in our world. We ask for your profound blessing on our graduates this day as they leave Seattle University School of Law. We thank you for their growth and their presence here at Seattle University. Just as they have been taught to interpret the law fairly, guide them as they work for justice in the world. Just as they have been taught to counsel with compassion, grant them a spirit of calm and assurance with all of their clients, so they might care for them not just as clients but as whole persons. Just as they came curious and inquisitive, help them to have a thirst for knowledge and wisdom in our world. Grant them the words to speak with authority on behalf of the most marginalized, the scared, and those who desperately desire to belong. Help them care for our common home so that all creatures might flourish and thrive into a sustainable future. And nourish them always in their vocation to the law, and that because of them, especially, our laws may be more just, more fair, and more equitable. And in all of their hopes and dreams, in their moments of beauty and despair, ensure that they feel cared for, loved, accepted, and consoled. May each of us here serve as sources of strength in their lives. We ask all of these things through you who compelled our graduates to pursue the education in law. We ask all of this together in your name and say together, amen.
This commencement convocation is now concluded. Please join us in Sullivan Hall for reception to celebrate our graduates. Enjoy this day of celebration. Congratulations to our graduates. Celebramos.